जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रभुजीकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रभुजीकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की मायापुर नवदीप धाम की गंगा माई की यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री गुरु एंड श्री गौरंगा की जय। Just a minute. Okay. I was looking for my chanting. No, chanting bag. It was there. I don't know where it went.
Is that yours?
No.
Did you drop it back?
Yeah.
It was on the bench.
Yeah, on the bench. Where is it?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, I'll find out later.
What color is it?
Brown.
Is that brown?
Yeah.
Brownish? No, I don't know.
Okay, I think.
Is that it?
No. Probably I put in this one. Just a minute.
That's the one thing no one will see.
Yeah. It's initiated with, so I have to be very responsible. Okay. One time in Vrindavan, somebody stole the japa bag. And we are able to see the video footage of that, how they stole it. He was following it since the Mataji's. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from okay, which verse is it today?
Chapter, text 25.
7?
13, 25.
25, okay. Canto 7, chapter 13, 25 verse. Yadrichaya lokam imam Yadrichaya lokam imam praptihi prapitah karmabhir brahman prapitah karmabhir brahman swarga pavargayor dwaram Swarga pavargayor dwaram tirashcham punarasya cha tirashcham punarasya cha yadrichaya lokam imam prapita karmabhir brahman Swargapavargayor dwaram tirashcham punarasya cha yadrichaya lokamimam praptim prapti karmabhir brahmanam Swargapavargayor dwaram tirashcham punarasya cha Yadrichaya lokam imam prapita karmabhir brahman Swarga pavargayor dwaram tirashcham punarasya cha Yadrichaya lokam imam Mataji's. Yadrichaya lokam imam online.
Yadrichaya lokam imam prapita karma bir brahman Svarga pavargayordvaram Tirascham punarasya cha.
Yadricha lokam imam Prapita karmabir brahman Shargo pavargayor dwaram Tirascham punar asyacha.
Yadrichya, carried by the waves of material nature. Lokam, human form. Imam, this. Prapitaha, achieved. Karma be, by the influence of different fruitive activities. Brahman, wandering from one form of life to another. Swarga, to the heavenly planets. Apavargayoho, to liberation. Dwaram, the gate. Tirascham, lower species of life. Puna, again. Asya, of the human beings. Cha, and. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the course of, you can repeat, in the course of the evolutionary process, which is caused by fruitive activities due to undesirable material sense gratification, I have received this human form of life, which can lead to the heavenly planets, to liberation, to the lower species, or to rebirth among human beings. Purport. All living entities within the material world are undergoing the cycle of birth and death according to the laws of nature. This struggle of birth and death in different species may be called the evolutionary process, but in the Western world, it has been wrongly explained. Darwin's theory of evolution from animal to man is incomplete because the theory does not present the reverse condition, namely, evolution from man to animal. In this verse, however, evolution has been very well explained on the strength of the Vedic authority. Human life, which is obtained in the course of the evolutionary process, is a chance for elevation, swarga apavarga, or for degradation, tirascham punarasya. If one uses this human form of life properly, he can elevate himself to the higher planetary systems, where material happiness is many thousands of times better than on this planet. Or one may cultivate knowledge by which to become free from the evolutionary process and be reinstated in one's original spiritual life. This is called apavarga or liberation. Material life is called pavarga because here we are subject to 5 different states of suffering, represented by the letters pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. Pa means parishrama, very hard labor. Pha means fena or foam from the mouth. For example, sometimes we see a horse foaming at the mouth with heavy labor. Ba means bhaya arthata, disappointment. In spite of so much hard labor, at the end we find disappointment. Bha means bhaya or fear. In the material life, one is always in the blazing fire of fear, since no one knows what will happen next. Finally, ma means mrityu or death. When one attempts to nullify these 5 different statuses of life, pa, pha, bha, ba, ma, one achieves apavarga or liberation from the punishment of material existence. The word tirascham refers to the degraded life. Human life, of course, provides an opportunity for the best living conditions. As Western people think, from the monkeys come the human beings, who are more comfortably situated. However, if one does not utilize this human life for swarga or apavarga, he falls again to the degraded life of animals like dogs and hogs. Therefore, a sane human being must consider whether he will elevate himself to the higher planets, prepare to free himself from the evolutionary process, or travel again through the evolutionary process in higher and lower grades of life. If one works piously, one may be elevated to the higher planetary systems or achieve liberation and return home. Back to Godhead. But otherwise, one may be degraded to a life as a dog, a hog, and so on. As explained in Bhagavad Gita 9.25, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. Those interested in being elevated to the higher planetary systems, Devalok or Swargalok, must prepare to do so. Similarly, if one wants liberation and wants to return home, back to Godhead, he should prepare himself for that purpose. Our Krishna conscious movement is therefore the highest movement for the benediction of human society, because this movement is teaching people how to go back home, back to Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita 13.22, it is clearly stated that different forms of life are obtained by association with the three modes of material nature. Karanam gunasangasya sad asad yoni janmashu. According to one's association with the material qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance in this life, in one's next life, one receives an appropriate body. Modern civilization does not know that because of varied association in material nature, the living entity, although eternal, is placed in different diseased conditions known as the many species of life. Modern civilization is unaware of the laws of nature. Prakriti kriya manani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimulatma karta ahamiti manyate. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself the performer of activities that are in actuality carried out by nature. Every living entity is under the full control of the stringent laws of material nature, but rascals think themselves independent. Actually, however, they cannot be independent. This is foolishness. A foolish civilization is extremely risky, and therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is trying to make people aware of their fully dependent condition under the stringent laws of nature, and is trying to save them from being victimized by strong Maya, which is Krishna's eternal energy, external energy. Behind the material laws is the supreme controller, Krishna. Maya adhyakshena prakritihi suyate sa characharam. Therefore, if one surrenders unto Krishna, maam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite, one may immediately be freed from the control of external nature. Sa gunan samtitya etan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. This should be the aim of life. I'll read the last line again, it's very important. Therefore, if one surrenders unto Krishna, one may immediately be freed from the control of external nature. This should be the aim of life. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Bandeham Shri Gurau Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishbhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevicha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namaum Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My obeisances to all of you, and seek your blessings so that all of us together can understand this beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada. of Canto 7, which is the science of God, and chapter 13, which is the behavior of a perfect person, and text 25. When we are talking about behavior, so many times we see that behavior is one of the most important things, that should be given importance. But nowadays in Kali Yuga, everything has become topsy-turvy. It is behavior or character is given very less importance, and wealth, however you accumulate wealth by unfair means, whatever it is, those people are considered to be very good, very high status in the society. So, but according to the Vedic tradition, the character of a person is the most important thing. And Srila Prabhupada often quotes Chanakya Pandit. He says that the person who does not have a good behavior or a good character is like a flower without a fragrance. You may have all the other good qualifications, but if you do not have a good behavior or good character, then it is of no value. If character is lost, everything is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. If wealth is lost, not much is lost. But today it has reversed. If wealth is lost, everything is lost. Health is lost, health is still there because everybody still pays attention to the health. And if character is lost, nothing is lost. So, that is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, Kali Yuga. And we are very fortunate to have these scriptures with us, which remind us of the true behavior that we should follow. So in the translation, Srila Prabhupada mentions about this evolutionary process which is caused by fruitive activities due to undesirable material sense gratification. I have received this human form of life which can lead to the heavenly planets, to liberation, to the lower species, or to rebirth among human beings. So just because of our behavior, how we behave, and not just externally to show others, but also internally, we imbibe these qualities, then we can actually go to different heavenly planets, or be liberated, or go to lower species, or go back home, back to Godhead. So some of the qualities I would like to describe, two important qualities of a Vaishnava I would like to share here is simplicity and forgiveness. And also I would like to go through this purport also quickly. So simplicity. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, who is the Guru Maharaj of our Srila Prabhupada, he said that the quality of simplicity or saralta, in Sanskrit simplicity is coined as saralta. It is the first qualification to become a Vaishnava. And to be straightforward and without pretension and ego. So Srila Prabhupada explains the story of Gautam Rishi. There was a Rishi, Gautam Rishi, and a young boy approached him for initiation. He said, "My dear Guru Maharaj Gautam Rishi, please give me Diksha, please initiate me." So Gautam Rishi said, "I only initiate Brahmins. So go and find out who is your father, whether he is a Brahmin or not." So this boy, he goes, he asked his mother, and she said, "My dear son, I am a prostitute, so I don't know who your father is." He came back saying to the Guru that, "I don't know who my father is." And Gautam Rishi said, "You are a Brahmin because you speak the truth." So, and similarly in Chaitanya Leela we see Damodar Das was a devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He was without duplicity, no politics, and in order to achieve your personal ambition, Sometimes we are willing to do or say anything which is beyond the ethics. But when we are talking about simplicity, it means no duplicity and no politics, and there is no personal self-agenda. So there was a young boy who was visiting Lord Chaitanya just to meet him and take his association, take his darshan. And he would offer the obeisances, and he will be with Lord Chaitanya. So this was actually intolerable to Damodar Das, another devotee of Lord Chaitanya, because he was seeing this, why is this boy coming? And the reason was, I'll tell the reason later, but this devotee Damodar Pandit would chastise the boy not to come here, not to come to meet Lord Chaitanya. So everybody was surprised, why is he chastising that boy not to come? And one day when the boy left, then Damodar Das said to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you are in the transcendental, you are transcendental to all the modes of material nature. It may not affect you, how this boy is coming and making association with you, but other people may judge you by your actions. So he said that, my dear Lord, this boy is very nice, he's a good devotee, but his mother is very young. And also she is beautiful and she is a widow. So if he's coming and meeting you, then people might think wrongly that you have relationship with the mother. So therefore, you should not meet this boy. So Damodar Das is talking to Lord Chaitanya, Supreme Personality of Godhead, imagine. And Lord Chaitanya said, do you know what you're saying to me? He was like, what are you saying? And then Lord Chaitanya got very happy. He said, since you are so strict and you're so straightforward, I give you a service. And the service is, you take this prasadam from Jagannath Puri to my mother and also protect my mother there. So that is, the fruit of being straightforward, without duplicity, no politics, no agenda. So sometimes we have to be very straightforward also, So, like in this purport, many times Prabhupada writes foolish rascals. Many times he's very, very straightforward. So which is required. When Damodar came back to... sorry, Prabhupada? In New York? Yeah. Okay. So, when Damodar came back after giving prasad to Lord Chaitanya's mother, Shachi Devi, then Lord Chaitanya asked him, how is my mother? So then he said that, how can you ask this question? She is the mother of the universe. She's Mother Yashoda, and any good qualities that you have is from your mother. So this was one example of simplicity that I wanted to share one of the good qualities of a Vaishnava, the behavior of a perfect person. And second, I would like to discuss another quality of forgiveness. So once we discuss, then we can go to the purport also. Titikshva karunika suhurdam sarva dehinam. So a sadhu is very forgiving. So these are some of the qualities in Srimad Bhagavatam, other places it is described. So forgiveness is so important that if we cannot forgive, then we cannot maintain relationship at any level, whether it's between husband and wife, or one brahmachari and another brahmachari, or even in business. Every place we need this quality of forgiveness to maintain the relationship, brother, sister, or even between nations. And the nature of the world is, it is like gravity. Like if you take something, it falls down. By default, everything is coming down. So if you don't take care of your health, it will deteriorate. If you don't take care of finances, they will suffer. If you don't take care of your relationships, they will also suffer. So it is very important in this world to keep up with all these things which are dragging us down, to keep our consciousness and our relationship and invest time or energy in those things. It is very, very important. Because without forgiveness, everything will collapse. And maintaining resentment, hatred, vengefulness, actually all these things affects our own heart. We might think we are, angry on somebody else, so they may get affected, but actually it is also affecting us to a great degree. Someone hurts us and we are angry, and suppose our rights are violated. It's like Prabhupada also explains, like burning charcoal in your hand. You are holding a burning charcoal, and if you are holding it like day after day, year after year, and then what happens? Who suffers? It's actually you who suffer. So we suffer. So by holding onto that fire, that hatred, vengefulness, we keep all those memories alive. It basically gives us more pain. So if we keep it alive, it will burn all our virtues, our spiritual qualities, our evil intentions towards others. And it's like keeping poison in our minds. And there is a research where doctors say that all this emotional turbulence that is there within the mind, it actually affects our health also to a great degree. And so we are victim until we can get that poison out of ourselves. William Blake, one author, he says that much easier to forgive an enemy than a friend. Can anyone tell why? It is much easier to forgive an enemy than a friend. Yeah. Okay, good answer. Yeah. Because the more intimate relationship you have with somebody, the more power they have to hurt you. Right? So they have greatest power to cause pain to us. So one time a police officer, actually yesterday we went to Jamba Juice to drink one smoothie. It's like very nice, orange juice, and they sell other things. We are coming out and we saw a cop following a car, and there was a helicopter on the top who was following that car from the air. So they were giving signal to this police officer on the ground that where that car is going, and they were just following. So the police officer, not this police, some other police officer told that they are not fearful to attack these mafias, when they attack them in the den, because they may die or they may live. They don't really are fearful about that. They said that the most fear that they have is when there is a dispute between the loved ones. Because there is a rage of anger and you cannot speculate what they can do in a moment. Because there's so much of pain, right? If somebody loved one does something wrong. So no relationship can be satisfying or satisfying until we have the foundational principle of spiritual life. So it is very important that we have the relationship with Shri Shri Radha Giridhari. So that is very important, and I'm going back to the purport now. So these are two qualities which I wanted to share. One is simplicity and one is forgiveness. Very, very integral to Vaishnava behavior, being a perfect person. And Srila Prabhupada said that I want all my disciples to be perfect gentlemen. So, and we see actually Prabhupada disciples. One example is sitting in front of us. His Grace Dravida Prabhu is a perfect gentleman. We can see. And you would like to hear one of his arts of the flute. Huh? It's gentlemen. Gentlemen sometimes play flute also, right?
Like a gentleman. No, you have to sit for it. Okay, thank you.
Haribol. Yes. Yeah.
This is from the Leela Chanda. Leela Chanda is a summary of Krishna's Vrindavan Leela. That's very wonderful. So one of the verses goes, Jagadudhura madhuri duri namaduna mandada mindada durapa mamatarsha badan muranta katvan murali nar sudha duni dunitam. Your flute sends forth a flood of nectar sound, a river where the sweetest sweetness lies. Indeed, no better beverage can be found, yet even Shri can't drink it, though she tries. O Krishna, kindly hear this desperate plea from one now deep in misery immersed. Please let my ears drink in that melody, so that my heart may slake its burning thirst. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
That was the only tune I prepared, but I'm not quite backwards to that.
Yeah. Haribol. This is like icing on the cake. Thank you. So, these qualities are intrinsic and intricate qualities of devotion for love of Godhead and cannot be separated from our devotional life. So these qualities are very, very important in order to achieve love for Krishna, because Krishna sees the intention, and intention is the result of our character. So, and the heart is the seat of all our desires. So when we are chanting the holy name Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then whatever deepest desire is there, in the heart, that will actually come out. And that also happens at the time of death, The whole life, all the thoughts, whatever is the most powerful desire, that we will remember at the time of death. So when we develop these qualities, this character, then it helps us actually to achieve yam yam vapi smara bhavam. At the time of death, we can actually remember Krishna at that time, because Krishna sees the intention. So in this beautiful purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining about Pavarga. Pavarga means material life. Just like in English you have A, B, C, D. Similarly in Devanagari script or Hindi script, you have A, I, I, U, like A is like A, A, B, C, D. So this has letters. And there is Papa, Baba, Ma, Tata, Dada, Na, Yara, Lava, like that. These we used to study in the childhood all these Hindi letters. But I never knew that there is a meaning to the sequence. Like after Pa, Bha. Why does Bha come after Pa? Like I don't know, after A, why B comes? Maybe there is a reason. After alphabet A, why does alphabet B comes? Is there any logic? But in this, after Pa, why does Bha comes? The reason is, Pa means parishram. You are putting so much effort, day-to-day life, trying to achieve anything, maybe materially. And then after that effort, what happens is Pa. Pa means fena or foam comes out of your mouth. Working so hard. Pa, pa. And then Ba. Ba is vyartha, disappointment. Even after achieving so much, you're not happy. You're still frustrated. And then after Ba, Bha comes. Because you have accumulated so much, then you are fearful somebody may take it away. Somebody can get my one-time password and get into my bank account and transfer the money to another country, right? Or somebody, I have actually seen a lot of, even among devotees, they fall victim to these scams, online scams, cryptocurrency scams, stock trading, options, so many. So there is bhai, I might lose it. Ma means mrityu or death. So after everything you have done, and there is death. So that is the sequence of these alphabets. It's very logical. It's called Pa Varga because it starts with Pa. So it leads to death, which is repeated cycle of birth and death. And then opposite of Pa Varga is Aparva. In Sanskrit, if you add A, it becomes the reverse. Aparvarga means which liberates you, which does not entangle you to the material world, but it takes you to the spiritual world. That is Apavarga. So that is Srila Prabhupada is saying, when one attempts to nullify these 5 different statuses of life, Pa, Pha, Ba, Bha, Ma, one achieves Apavarga or liberation from the punishment of material existence. So it is very, very sequential and logical, what Srila Prabhupada is explaining here in this one. And at the end, as we can see that if one surrenders unto Krishna, Maam evam ye prapadyante, Mayam etam tarantite. So when we surrender, prapadyante, just like Draupadi Maharani surrendered to Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Mahabaho, Sarvatma, and then she said, I am submerging into the ocean, Kaurav Arnava, into the ocean of Kauravas. They are trying to, harass me. So please, you are the friend of all the gopis, and I am also a gopi. So please help me. Vishvatma, you are the master of the whole universe. So please protect me. Huh? No, Draupadi. Draupadi is saying, when she was getting disrobed, then Dushasana was trying to disrobe her in the assembly. That time she is saying. So there is a whole Sanskrit verse in Mahabharata that describes about it. When Gajendra was in difficulty, huh? Krishna, Krishna Mahayogi, Sarvatma, Sarv. Yeah. I forgot the exact one. So when one surrenders unto Krishna, one immediately be freed from the control of external nature. Sa gunan samtitya etan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So one may be freed from the control of external nature. This should be the aim of life. So similarly, for us also, if we are dainya, if we have that consciousness that, my dear Lord, I am very wretched and fallen, and all I have is your mercy, then I am simply depending on the grace of God, humility. If we think we are great, we know everything, we don't want anything, then we may not get God's mercy. Suppose, there is a beggar who has nice gold chains and good suit, and you go and ask him, and he asks you some money, give me money. Then probably nobody would give him anything. So we have to be very much like then or wretched and fallen in front of the Lord and understand that position, that our real position is to serve the Lord, Krishnera Das. And at the time of initiation, or even before that, when we take shelter of Krishna, Krishna accepts him. But especially at the time of initiation, there is a verse which says, Diksha kale bhakta kore atma samarpana tahe kale Krishna kare atma sama. At the time of initiation, a devotee, atma samarpana, he takes shelter of the Lord, atma samarpana, surrenders his life and soul to the Lord. And that time, Krishna accepts him as his own family member. So that is dainya. And then second is daya. So bhakti is towards God, and daya is towards all living beings. When we have that compassion, surdam sarvadehinam, towards all living entities, and when we mix both of dainya and daya, when we are wretched and fallen at the same time, in that position we go to Krishna. And also daya, compassion towards all living entities. In that consciousness, Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains that is when the kshama or forgiveness is created. Only then we can forgive others. Forgiveness is not a very simple thing. So only then these qualities are developed. So when we are taking shelter of God and humility, and we have daya or compassion toward living beings, then forgiveness takes place. So, and love for God is expressed through one's compassion to forgive. So these are very essential principles, and how they are related intricately with bhakti is so amazing, If we can just follow the path of Krishna consciousness, these qualities will automatically be imbibed in us. If we are able to chant the holy name very, very sincerely, take shelter of the scriptures, have faith in the holy name, have and Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and Daya towards all living beings, then our life is successful and we can achieve the Apavarga, which Srila Prabhupada is explaining here in this verse. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Uh, 327, Prabhupada quoted this very important verse, Prakate Kriyamana Nigurane Karmani Sarvasha. And this verse has been revised, kind of there's a serious revision here. So here's the translation as it's read, as we had for 20 years, from 72 to 83.
Performer? Instead of performer, is it doer or something?
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. What is the
bewildered? Here's what we have in all, because they're quoted and in the Bhagavatam, and they weren't, as soon as the revision came out in 83, it wasn't all fixed in the Bhagavatam.
Oh, I see.
So that you still got Prakate Kriyamanani. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself the performer of activities that are in actuality carried out by nature. Now, there's nothing philosophically wrong with that, but the problem is that it doesn't mention the false ego, ahankara. You see that?
Yeah.
So the actual translation is, the spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. It's a little different, but bewildered by the false ego. The false ego is the key that bewilders us, and then we think I'm doing everything.
Thank you for sharing that, Prabhuji. So, is this updated in the Bhagavatam now, like the one that is printed? Is this is that an update that is made to the Bhagavatam that we are printing now, or no?
It's not in the Bhagavatam that we read.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Okay. Exactly.
We haven't really gone through and changed and fixed all of the quoted Bhagavatam verses, Bhagavad Gita verses that have been revised.
Got it.
That has to be done, and then those who are printing the Bhagavatam have to welcome those revisions and print them in the Bhagavatam.
Got it.
That's the question. But no, they haven't, and that's why it's still present here in my file.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Thank you for sharing. Chad, yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
for
Krishna.
your
Thank you.
compassionate lecture. What is the most important quality of a perfect person? Is there one?
I don't know what is one of the most important, but there's so many qualities. But if you ask me, all the qualities that are there, like Krishna talks about also in Bhagavad Gita, that Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavyastani Suni Chaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshana, one who treats every living entity equally and respects them, because he sees that living force, that divine consciousness within everybody. So that is one quality. And then we saw about forgiveness is another quality. But if you see that if we have devotion to the Lord, like that is one quality, then with that quality, all other qualities can sprout, because there are many people who are looking everybody equally, right? So that may be like they have one quality or other quality, but if it is not like nourishing the root of the tree, so all these qualities are like the branches of a tree, forgiveness, tolerance, compassion, whatever you say, respect. And the root of the tree is devotion to the Lord. So one quality I would say is, if you have to adjust one, then I would say just devotion to the Lord. Because you water the root of the tree, then all these qualities will sprout. So I think probably yes, Dravida Prabhu, you may answer.
I'm thinking of probably those who've heard me give class in the last 5 years. They've heard about the Sadhu Sangashtaka. These are 8 verses that Kapila Dev teaches his mother right near the beginning of his teachings. 3, 25, 20 through 27. And after saying how important it is to transfer our affection away from material things to sadhus, then the next question is, well, who's a sadhu? And then he has this verse, Keshava, Karunika, Suridak Sarvadehina, Ajata Shakta Bhakshanta, Sarabhak Sarabhushana. But if you look carefully at that verse, there's no mention of bhakti. You know. So, but he's very tolerant, he's very compassionate.
Sadhu is there, no? Mention of sadhu, that is related to bhakti.
No. As Maharaj would say, work with me now.
Okay.
Suridak, friend of all beings, doesn't have any enemy, has no enmity toward anyone, Ajata Shakta, very peaceful. These are the ornaments of a sadhu, Sarabhak Sarabhushana, and follows the Shastra. So the next verse describes the root of all these qualities.
Oh.
And what do you think it is? Kapila Dev speaking as an incarnation of God, as Krishna. Maya ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti yed vidham.
Yeah, okay.
Undeviating and pure devotion unto me. You know. So we try to have these qualities in our devotional service, but ultimately it's that pure devotional service, unflinching and unstopping, that gives rise to all these qualities. They naturally develop.
Thank you.
So that's really the most important.
Thank you for confirming, Prabhuji. Yeah. So whatever answer I gave is Prabhuji confirmed from the Shastra. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, Balram Prabhu.
So someone could read these different statements, like some of the statements we read today, or some of the things, or they could hear some of the things you said today. And people may think, like, what's up with you Hare Krishna people? Are you anti-work? It's all this like, oh, what's the word? Parishrama? All this hard work, foaming at the mouth. But you Hare Krishna people, you're using your computers, you're using your cars. This is all coming from hard work. And what to speak of the building you're sitting in. And many of your congregation people, they're all engaged in this parishrama, hard work. And you Hare Krishna people are just seeming like you're anti-work, anti-work, anti-work. So what's going on with that? Maybe you could explain to me. Or how would we explain this to people? And like all this talk about not working, in an ideal society, what is it that people just don't work? Or, I mean, obviously they work, but is the emphasis on everybody just working too much? But then if there's a big emphasis on everybody working too much, they see temples as just pretty much cashing in on people's hard work, you know, to keep the lights on, to keep everything going. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, very, very nice point, Prabhu. So I have 2 points here to make. First is, when we are talking about parishram, Prabhupada mentions pa, and then he mentions pa also, fena. It doesn't mean we don't work. It means we don't work so much that we are foaming. We are working. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and that Mataji, she said, my husband is working 17, 18 hours a day. He doesn't have time to even eat food. He doesn't have time to go out. He's working for one of the top consulting firms within the United States. He lives in somewhere nearby. So I don't want to name the firm, but 18 hours he's working. And why? Because they purchased a big house, 1.5 million or whatever. They have to pay the mortgage, right? So that is fena. Prabhupada doesn't say you should not work, or Krishna doesn't say. Krishna asked Arjuna, hey, go and fight. Ma manusmara yuddhacha. Fight and then remember me also. He didn't say, Krishna didn't say, go and just do chanting whole day. He didn't say like that. He said, you fight also when it is the time to fight. Yes, as a Grihastha, we get up early in the morning, try to chant our rounds, and then do our best 8 hours work. What's the problem in that? As a Grihastha, we have to work. And then when you said, temple, you're cashing on, it's not like that. Because so that we are not attached to the wealth that we are creating, we give charity, we serve the Vaishnavas, we serve the deities. You know, so that creates little renunciation. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says 3 things you should never stop, right? Charity, austerity. What is the third thing? Dan, yajna, tapasya, sacrifice. You should not stop charity. So that is the duty of a householder. Because if the householder doesn't do that, they will be like, then they will go to that fena stage. Then they will be entangled more and more. They will think this is the goal of life. But when they donate, when they come to the temple, they understand, oh, this is something beyond it. I remember when I moved to San Diego, I had a very demanding boss, a lot of expectations, a lot of work. I was so stressed out. But when I would come to the temple, I'll see devotees dancing, chanting, and I will just forget everything. It was like, I was so happy. Because, okay, life is beyond my office work. Life is beyond my boss that he's trying to, whatever. So, it's very important that this Vedic wisdom is so important for Grihasthas actually, because 99% of our community is Grihasthas. So it is for their benefit that they support the temple, or it is for their benefit that they take to spiritual knowledge from the temple. So both things are intertwined and very, very interconnected. Does it make sense, Prabhu? I'm sure you know the answer, but you just want to hear from me, that's all. Yes, Dojamani Prabhu? Okay. Yes, Dravida Prabhu. Huh? Yajna, Dana, Tapasya, yeah. Yajna is like we are chanting, that is the biggest sacrifice. Yajna, Dana is charity to Krishna conscious activities. Tapasya also we are doing fast. Today is Ekadashi, so some little austerity is there. Yes, yes, Dojamani.
Just following that question Bharam asked, because we labor so much and we also follow rules and regulations and things like that. But in this process, how do we maintain how do we not become very hard on the surface, and how do we really deepen our bhakti and really have I don't know how to put it, sensitivity, softness of heart, yeah.
To others?
Yeah, and towards Krishna and everyone, yes. Because if we work so much, it might just make us very hard, I hope that makes sense, what I'm trying to ask.
I didn't get it. How you will become hard by working hard? Like how the heart will become hard?
If you work hard, and if you just follow the rules, if you become a little bit, say, fanatic about it, then the heart might also become hard.
Oh yeah.
So how do we maintain?
Yeah. So that we need guidance from senior devotees on those things. We should follow the principles, but the details you can vary. So. Yeah, we are becoming too much fanatic about few things. Then, like I was telling this example that somebody came to the temple and they were pointing the legs towards Krishna, and somebody came and chastised them very heavily. Oh, why are you pointing legs towards Krishna? He said, oh, because this is given as one of the offenses in nectar of devotion. You should not point your legs towards Krishna. But then there is also written in nectar of devotion that you should not chastise anybody in front of the deities. Right? So, yes, rules, probably that person doesn't know about that, and especially in the Western world, we have to have little cushion. People might not know about the culture and things like that, so we have to understand. But the principle is giving them that love, that sweetness of Krishna consciousness, that, and also for ourselves, this is for others, but for ourselves also we have to be very much kind, because so that we also get time for our own sadhana. We are not able to chant properly 16 rounds. We are not getting time. So probably we should make time. So we should be kind towards ourselves also, and have a nice sadhana schedule and take some rest, and then obviously manage time nicely so that we can do our best. So, but again, it depends on person to person. I have seen some great devotees, like in New Vrindavan, they were just sleeping like 2.5 hours, chanting 64 rounds a day and doing service 6 times Aarti, 6 times, New Vrindavan in the early 1970s. Some devotees were working so hard. to build those temples and to. So it depends on the situation and how are you inspired. So it's very individualistic. Somebody may be inspired to do a lot for themselves or for others. Somebody might not be inspired. So it all depends on how Krishna is inspiring us. Right. So at the end of the day, yes, the principle is we should be kind, compassionate to others. That is the cardinal principle, important principle, and to us also. But people go beyond and above, and they do great things. So there's nothing wrong in that.
Okay, here's the answer to your question. No, that was perfect.
Yeah.
But here's a little formula. 11th canto, 3rd chapter, text 30. One of the 9 Yogendras is describing. Paraspadano katanam pavanam bhagavad yasha mito ratir mitas tustir nivritir mito atmanaha. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This is right in Bhagavad Gita. Matchittam magata prana bodhayanta parasparam. Parasparam means getting it. And the same result is, as the devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction, and by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, the cause of all suffering. Then the next verse has a very famous line in it. Smarantak smaryantascha mito gaugaharam hirim bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya vibratutpulikam tadam. The devotees of the Lord constantly discuss the glories of the Lord, thus they constantly remember the Lord and remind one another of His qualities and pastimes. In this way, by their devotion to the principles of Bhakti Yoga, the devotees please the Lord, who takes away from them everything inauspicious. Being purified of all impediments, the devotees awaken to pure love of God, and thus even within this world, their spiritualized bodies exhibit symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, such as standing of the bodily hairs on end. So basically it means getting together to glorify Krishna. Satam prasangan malavirya samvido. And then all the difficulties you may go through in your service are fructified in that way. That's the...
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, you have anything? Okay. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.